Hi friends, welcome to new video. David Crosby, a prominent figure in the 1970s Laurel Canyon scene who helped bring folk rock into the mainstream with both the Byrds and Crosby, Stills, and Nash, has died at 81. His publicist confirmed the artist's death to NPR. No cause of death has been released at the time of this report. Crosby had long dealt with serious health problems, including multiple heart attacks, diabetes and hepatitis C, for which he underwent a liver transplant in 1994. Despite these challenges, the veteran musician has enjoyed a creative hot streak in recent years. He added 5 solo albums to his catalog between 2014 and 2021, and tours frequently with 2 sets of collaborators. My name is Ahmed and you are watching 72 Info TV. So before discussing this news, please subscribe our channel for more info videos. The Lighthouse Band, featuring Snarky Puppy band leader Michael Legg, and the Sky Trails Band, featuring his son James Raymond on keyboards. Crosby's focus on touring stretches back to his early professional days, when he was a nomadic folk musician who honed his performance skills on the road. In the late 1950s, Crosby began performing in coffee houses in Santa Barbara, California, but soon began touring the United States, expanding to South Florida, Chicago and Boulder, Colorado. Crosby also spent an early stint in Greenwich Village, where he teamed up with Chicago musician Terry Collier to play at the then new Butter End. Despite his long and successful solo career, Crosby thrived on collaboration, a trait he discovered as a young child, after being mesmerized by symphony orchestra performances. The idea of a cooperative effort to create something bigger than any one person could ever do was stuck in my head, he wrote in his 1988 autobiography Long Time Gone. That's why I love being a singer, why I love being in a group. Crosby's first major breakthroughs came as a founding member of the Byrds, a sprawling California country folk group. The group reached a commercial peak during his tenure, earning 2 No.1 singles, Pete Seeger's Turn, 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 and a cover of Bob Dylan's Mr. Tambourine Man, and reaching the top 20 with the storming classic 8 Mile High. Crosby co-wrote the latter, and several other memorable Byrds songs, lilting, including The Wild Lady Friend. He was instrumental in helping the group develop its harmonious sonic approach and kaleidoscopic sound, which incorporated psychedelic rock, jazz and twangy folk, and he collaborated with John Coltrane and Ravi Shankar. Is credited with introducing bandmate Roger McGuinn to the music of. In 1967, Crosby was fired from the Byrds over growing personality and creative conflicts, although he later returned to produce and perform on 1973's Byrds. At loose ends, he immersed himself in sailing, a childhood hobby of his, buying a schooner for $25,000 with money borrowed from the Monkees' Peter Turk. This boat will be a source of comfort and inspiration for decades. He wrote songs on board, including Wooden Ships, The Lashore and Page 43. Crosby was born on August 14, 1941 and grew up in Southern California. His father was cinematographer Floyd Crosby, who won an Academy Award for his work on 1931's Taboo, A Story of the South Seas, as well as a Golden Globe for 1952's High Noon. Crosby himself would influence another notable corner of Hollywood. He often said that Dennis Hopper was inspired by his look and attitude for 1969's Easy Rider. As a child, Crosby fell hard for the Everly Brothers, a lifelong fascination with close harmony, fueled by his family's regular singing sessions. His older brother, Ethan, introduced him to jazz, a genre he would touch on throughout his career, including his late 90s/early 00s with his band CPR and his 2017 solo album, On Sky Trails. Crosby's early influences became more prominent in his partnerships with Stephen Stills and Graham Nash, with whom he explored new ways of harmonizing expression. On Long Time Gone, he described his unique sound style with general brevity, noting that the group drew on classical music, late 50s and early 60s jazz, and Everless as a non-parallel thing, saying, "I did some of my best finesse, moving the midsection around in internal shifts that kept it going," he wrote. Crosby's C-clear tenor steels and Nash's vocals seamlessly blend in quiet and haunting ways, especially on his own Guinevere. His songwriting contributions also pushed the band in new directions, notably, the rhythmic and loose arrangements of Deja Vu and the boho instrumental tone of Wooden Ships. As a trio, Crosby, Stills and Nash were commercially and critically loved. His self-titled 1969 debut led to a performance at Woodstock and a Grammy for Best New Artist, while 1970's Deja Vu, at which point Neil Young joined, added another letter to the band's name, touched on both the comforts of tradition and the seismic generational shifts that were underway. Months after the release of Deja Vu, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young would become a leading voice of the nation's anti-war movement, releasing Young's Ohio in response to the May 1970 shooting of 4 students at Kent State University. Over the years, Crosby, who was twice inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of the Byrds and CSN, continued to perform with various collaborators, including Nash in his mid-2010s. Was acting as a constant. Always opinionated and brutally honest, he was an open book about his personal flaws and failings, as well as how he felt about his colleagues. This no-nonsense personality made him endearing and prickly, especially as a bandmate. CSNY's internal riffs were legendary. But in later years, this made him a natural for Twitter's concise and agile nature. Crosby shared broader views on politics and music on the platform, and answered questions from fans. Both about his career, he told a fan that he was not the right man for the job when asked if it was true that he should have worked on Leonard Cohen's second album / and his about those in his orbit, not the right man for the job answer, tenor/baritone. Such loving toughness even landed him an advice column in Rolling Stone. Crosby's career was marked by countless new inventions and other opportunities. Years of well-documented substance abuse resulted in tumultuous relationships in and out of music, multiple arrests and a 9-month stint in a Texas prison in the 80s. Remarkably, his voice remained strong and unseasonable, a fact Crosby himself found unfathomable, as he explained to Cameron Crowe in the 2019 documentary David Crosby, Remember My Name. Yet the film also portrays a considerable amount of humility, portraying a musician who faces his own mortality by trying not to dwell on the past. Some text goes here: I've hurt a lot of people, Crosby told NPR and WBUR's midday news show, Here and Now, in 2019. I've helped a lot. I just have to be able to see it and understand it and learn from it. I'm not beating myself up about any of this. The truth is that I am very happy with this man now. I am trying hard to be a decent person. And I love it. Thanks for watching our video.